to the professors of Gettysburg College,
to the Board of Trustees,
to the Office of College Life,
to the Center for Global Education,
to the Intercultural Resource Center,
to the Department of Public Safety,
to the Admissions Office,
to Academic Advising,
to the Office of Diversity and Inclusion,
to the Athletics Department,
to the faculty of Gettysburg College,
to the Office of Student Activities and Greek Life,
to the LGBTQ community at Gettysburg College,
to the President's Office,
to the Office of Residential and First Year Programs,
to the Office of Communications,
to Counseling Services,
to the students of Gettysburg College.
We are Gettysburg Too.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey White. I'm a junior here at Gettysburg College, and I'm a religious studies major. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, but I live in York, Pennsylvania now.
My name is Shanti Stewart. I'm a sophomore. I'm from Philadelphia, and I identify as a Black female.
My name is Janae Harris. I'm from East Harlem, New York. I'm class of 2016, and I identify as a Black and Latina female who is cisgendered.
I'm Jasmine Santana. I'm a senior. I'm from Washington Heights in New York City. I identify as Latina, and I have an individualized major titled Language and Culture, but it's sociolinguistics.
My name is Jerome Clark. I am a junior at Gettysburg College. I come from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I identify as a first-generation Afro-Trinidadian Black male on campus.
Hi, my name is Tiara Loren Riggins. I am a junior here at Gettysburg College, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I identify as an African-American woman.
My name is Ashley Fernandez. I am a senior from Washington Heights, and I identify as an Afro-Latina Polynesian heterosexual woman.
My name is Jasmine Matos. I am from the Bronx. I am a health sciences major. I am a senior, and I identify as Latina.
My name is Michael De Leon. I am a sophomore sociology major. I'm from Philly, and I identify as a Black and Latino gay male.
I remember moving in with my grandfather, and almost my entire family came to help me move in. It was my first year. I came for the IRC pre-orientation. And another gentleman was moving in. It was a white male, and he asked my grandfather what sport I played, and what was I doing. And my grandfather responded, he's a history major. And I think that is, in essence, what We Are Gettysburg Too really means. It means that we are not just, a number. We're not just athletics. We're not just what we bring to you, but what you can give to us. And We Are Gettysburg Too means that you invest in me just as much as I invest in you. And this is a partnership, and not just me working to earn your respect. It's not just me, doing what I feel I need to do to survive. We Are Gettysburg Too means that we are a community that's going to grow together and that lives together. So yeah.
I think that we can make this campus more inclusive by actually promoting confrontational conversations. I think a lot of times here, especially in the classroom, students are silenced in a sense. Professors are afraid to allow students of color in particular to express their thoughts and their feelings because they feel like this is too close to home. It's such a sensitive topic.
Gettysburg, in its curricula and in the actual practice of teaching, needs a little work in developing just sensitive pedagogy in regards to race relations. I've taken 7 classes in my philosophy major, and we have talked about black philosophy philosophers like literally not at all. I oftentimes have to introduce a perspective of African Americans in economics classes and ethics classes, and this is important, but I feel like if I didn't say this, certain people in the classrooms, including the professors, wouldn't speak up for specific communities and wouldn't speak up for very real issues that happen outside of the Gettysburg campus today.
I think definitely there's been a lot of times where I'm looked at as the person that needs to speak for all Black people, especially in the classroom. I think most of the time professors and my peers, they do it kind of unknowingly, but still at the same time I kind of get the sense that, oh, it's my turn to speak now that we're talking about slavery or the Black experience, or if what's going on in the news comes up in class and it's kind of like, oh, what's your perspective, Shantice? You know, like, what do other Black people think about this issue? But sometimes I feel torn because I do want to say something, but at the same time I don't want to be the person who speaks for my race, because my experience is my experience. It's not everyone's experience.
It's nothing new. It is not surprising that in a class discussing race, we're reading works by white authors and that I don't see myself represented in the curriculum. But instead of being okay with that and just continuing to thrive in something that's blatantly wrong and uncomfortable, I questioned it. And questioned how it is that you can equate things like white women's oppression with slavery. And I think triggering conversations like that is where I really get to kind of make my peers uncomfortable and think about their own position in the classroom, their own position in society, and even question my professor. If you're going to teach this class, why is it that we're reading this?
How did your professor respond?
She was very defensive. She was insulted. She felt like I was trying to control the classroom. And quite frankly, she found it disrespectful. And so that's something else that I've had to negotiate and kind of learn to cope with, is when do I draw the line between trying to develop these conversations and kind of break these different scenarios that include microaggressions, and when do I look out for myself, because at the end of the day, she's the professor and she holds power to my grade.
Exactly.
And I am a student.
Yeah, I've had similar experiences where I've felt the need to silence my own thoughts in order to appease to my professor.
The most frustrating part about being a Latina at Gettysburg College is basically being targeted because of my accent and people making assumptions about me and my identity because of my accent and where I come from. There has been many times where my educational ability or my knowledge has been downplayed or just stereotyped to be a certain way. Like, for example, people are shocked to know that I get one of the highest grades on an exam, or professors are shocked when they see me perform well or ask questions. And that shouldn't be. Those assumptions should not be made about me, because my accent it has nothing to do with my educational ability. Like, I am just as valuable as anyone else.
I feel like professors really, they allow things to happen in the classroom. And it sort of validates other people's opinions that are completely wrong. It invalidates my experiences, and it validates those who are not even aware that they have privilege. And that I have a problem with.
And one specific instance of belligerent racism that I can recall was last semester. Two Greek chapter houses came together and had a ghetto fabulous party. And in this party, more or less people made a mockery of working class Black and brown folks, made a mockery of the culture that they celebrate, the music that they celebrate, and it was all for fun. And the thing is, that's understandable that things can be for fun, but when it becomes mockery, and when it becomes a mockery that is very much rooted in kind of a racist ideology, kind of an insensitive ideology, no matter who belongs to these chapter houses, that is extremely exclusive on this campus.
Recognize your privilege. As a straight, cis, white male, recognize your privilege. Fraternities, Greek life is made for you. The campus climate has been molded to fit your identity to a T.
I think oftentimes when students of color first get to Gettysburg, it's obvious that you are not a part of the majority. And that pressure to assimilate into the majority is real, and it's toxic. And you surrender a part of your identity every time you decide to stay silent. And this movement is reclaiming that identity. It's reclaiming the narrative of that identity, because who I am is what got me to Gettysburg. And it's easy to fall into that peer pressure of surrendering your identity because it's immediately rewarded. You're conveniently invited to that pregame that everyone is talking about. You're conveniently one of the boys. You're seen as funny and cool because now you fit the narrative that they have associated with your identity. But on the contrary, you're never seen as intelligent, as well-spoken. It's easy to fall into that.
A lot of times, Gettysburg misses the point. Often Gettysburg thinks that they're dealing with the issues that come with racism without really seeing that they're not getting to the root of the problem. And so people kind of blindly think that there's the Intercultural Resource Center, there's Diaspora House, there's a couple of black faculty, and that should be enough, that should suffice. Not only is that insulting and not enough representation, which is key, but those outlets that is often thought that we have aren't functional within themselves because they weren't really meant to be functional. We lack visibility, and so with spaces like Diaspora House and the IRC, they're often put in the middle of nowhere, in the corners. Most students, unless they're students of color, don't even know where the IRC is located.
The first time that I was made hyper aware of my blackness on this campus would be during freshman orientation week. And everybody was sitting around in circles, sort of trying to explain their past and explain how they've reached the point of entering Gettysburg College. And someone questioned, or didn't question, they assumed that I had lived a rough past and that every experience that I had would be the stereotypical black experience, meaning that I grew up in poverty, that I attended a poor public school, and that basically my lifestyle, I've only reached Gettysburg College because of my blackness, and my lifestyle, my poverty helped me to reach this opportunity.
Going to like a boarding school. Mm-hmm. Like I've had experiences here where they just assumed that I would go to a public school and like this like stereotypical public school, and when they hear that I've had the privilege of like going
they sort of change their whole attitude towards you.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily, oh, like this is a great thing, we have something in common, we've both been to private school, but it's more, oh damn, I'm shocked, now I don't feel as if I have this power over you.
Yeah.
And that completely throws me off.
The thing that makes me most uncomfortable is when people always ask me, like, how did you get here? How did you get to Gettysburg? And it's because I'm Latina. I have to have come to Gettysburg because a program helped me or someone helped me. And like, it's impossible for a Latina to find Gettysburg College on their own.
It is okay that I struggle with being gay, with being black, with being Latino on this campus. I am allowed to have those feelings. And you can't tell me that I can't have those feelings because you do not have my experience.
Same time, being silent on these issues only adds to it. I would definitely encourage everyone to get involved, ask your friends, ask your students about how they're feeling about these issues, bring it up in class, have open discussions. This is the only way that we can educate everyone and kind of get our voices heard.
I'm well aware that I put my mental health at risk and that I overexhaust myself when I have to assert my identity in these white spaces. I'm well aware of that. But what I'm even more aware of is that by not asserting my identity, by staying silent and compliant to a system that doesn't believe in my identity or the success of my identity is going to kill my spirit a lot faster than me being exhausted.
We Are Gettysburg Too is important for several reasons, but I think the most keen reason that it's important is that the two aspect, the fact that we need to be acknowledged just as much as white students are, that we offer just as much as white students do on campus. And I feel like that's the inclusion part of the statement, saying that we are re-owning this campus, a campus that we want to be at, a campus that we want to see do better, and bring in more people who are of color and are from these urban, diverse backgrounds to better and, you know, make this campus a greater space for everyone. So We Are Gettysburg Too does not exclude anyone.
There's a disconnect often where it's perceived that this movement is only for students of color and should be done by students of color. And that truly doesn't help at all.
I think that everyone should participate in open dialogue and not take this as an attack on the school or an attack at all the white people at Gettysburg College, because that's not what this is. We're making this video because we want to educate people. At the end of the day, our purpose is education.
We are far past the point of pity. We don't need anybody to feel sorry for us. We don't need anybody to, say, you know what, I'm so sorry that this has happened. What we need is for every single person, black, white, Asian, Latin Americans, everybody needs to come together and work to a common goal of inclusivity and understanding that we are Gettysburg. And we, not just Gettysburg, to quote the infamous, it was Michael Jackson, right? We are the world. We are everyone. We need to come together and really create a safe space for everyone to feel like they can express who they are, and what they represent.
What often gets left out of the conversation is intersectionality. I am not only black and Latino, I am gay. And I am very proud to say that. But I often walk through Gettysburg during a regular day, feel like I'm putting on a show for others.
I want to talk about what this movement is not about. It's not about college campuses coddling students, particularly students of color. It's not about being politically correct. It's not about having a pity party. It's not about apologizing or being ashamed or disgusted.
If you think that everyone on this campus is having a great time and that they all fit into every single area and sector of Gettysburg, you are wrong. And you are not woke to the issues on this campus. So you cannot say that you are. You cannot say that you are passionate about it because you most likely did not work with us to create this, to stop this, to put an end to this. And I know that because I know everyone that worked on this. I know all of them. They're all people of color.